جاهزين؟ أهلا وسهلا بالجميع وبنعتذر منكم على التأخير.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and dear followers on social media platforms. I'm happy today to meet you today on this 8th session of Open Talk with Khalaf Al Habtoor under the title of Empowering People that started in January 2017. It opened an important channel for discussions with people about discussing the main issues influencing young people in UAE and in the region. We would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor for opening this discussion. We are happy today to invite three people. Sheikh Ahmad Al Haddad from Dubai Awqaf, and also Dr. Abdul Rahman Sharaf Al Ma'mari, manager of Himaya in Dubai Police, and Dr. Abdul Khaliq Abdullah, a professor of political sciences. You all are most welcome. Themes of today's discussion about the role of family and educational institutions in protecting young people and encouraging self-reliance in work. Before we start, I'd like to pay your attention that this session is streamed live through social media platforms. Would like you to ask Mr. Khalif, and now the floor is open for Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. In the name of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. You all are most welcome in this session. And today, I hope that today is a blessing day and that we can reach to main points and main recommendations that we can provide to you. Every time I'd like to discuss important points or important issues. Today we are talking about women. Woman plays a key role. She is the mother, she is the sister, she is the aunt. She is everything in our life, and mother is the basic school in our life. It is more important than the formal school. Every time I prefer to pay the attention of all people, to pay full attention to their mothers, to respect their mothers. And today we see some women who are not able to take care of their kids. She goes to work in the morning and she asks a babysitter to take care of her kids. And this is not the way we were brought up. We were brought up by our real mothers, by our biological mothers. But today, the babysitters cannot play the same roles that our biological mothers play. So our young kids today cannot master their native Arabic language because the mother is not paying full attention to the kids. I have some points that I would like to discuss with you. The mother today is more respectful. She is the most important member in the family, and we have to pay full attention to the mother. We are not talking about equality between men and women. This is not the real measurement. This is not the real standard. But the mother is the real person. She is who teaches her kids. Mothers play a key role in teaching our kids Arabic language. Today, I would like to provide a suggestion. Today, our government in the UAE pay their attention and provide all support to mothers. And we received our blessings from our native land. This land is dear to our hearts, and our role today, we are responsible about protecting this land, and we are responsible for providing support to mothers. I don't want to waste any time. I would like to ask or to suggest setting up a fund that businessmen and rich people can provide support to mothers. In addition to governmental support, the UAE government provide everything to people. They provide teaching, education, and all means of help for our young men and women. But we have to do today, for example, I can support this fund by some specific amount of money. I can reveal the amount of this sum after the discussion. We were brought up in the UAE before the formation of the federation, from the borders of Qatar and Saudi Arabia to the borders of Oman, to the borders of Bahr al-Arab. We have the people who live on the mainland and the people who work in the sea, and there was some sort of contract between these people, the founding fathers of the UAE. Today we have the camels. People used to ride camels. They used to ride the camels, and they used to teach their kids how to raise camels, how to ride camels, how to feed camels. I myself, my father, used to teach me these skills. He taught me how to hunt a wild rabbit and how to cook it in a small pot. And we eat it, and this was very enough. And more than enough for us, because this was what was available for us. The people who used to work in the sea, they used to teach their kids how to swim, how to fish, how to catch pearls from the sea, and we had two main jobs in the UAE society. People who are working on the mainland and people who are working on the sea. And if we go back to history and look into the history of our founding father of this nation, these people used to do well because they were brought by their skillful fathers. They taught them the basic relationships, the basic morals, the basic customs, and fathers and the mothers used to take care of their children hand in hand. They used to teach their kids how to pray. And I remember my father, he was teaching me how to pray, how to do prayers, how to keep prayers. I have to do the all. He used to teach me all principles of my Islamic religion with all its details. But today some people may not pay much attention to their children, and they may pay much attention to foreign language than today. This is my first point. I'd like now to open the floor to Dr. Ahmed to contribute to this open talk. So please, the floor is yours. In the name of Allah, and peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's my pleasure and my honor to meet you in this open talk, and I'd like to thank this initiative from this hard-working man, this man who reminded us with things that made a hard-working man who became a very important brand. I mean Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor, who made a lot of things that made him contribute to many aspects of our society. And today, also, I would like to thank him for his support, and also he stressed the point that the father is the person in charge of bringing up his children, and teaching his children, and every father used to teach his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And in a hadith, Prophet Muhammad said that the best thing to teach your kids is to teach them how to behave well, and the best thing to teach the best thing to teach your kids is to teach them how to live well, how to lead a proper life, and how to lead a respectful life. When Prophet Muhammad said to Anas, when he taught a young kid how to eat properly, and this is one of the customs and morals that people used to learn from this way. What attracts my attention in this talk, I would like to stress 2 or 3 points. Point number 1, as His Excellency pointed out that we are an Arabic and Muslim nation, and we used to live following our principles of our culture, our religion, and we used to live as Muslims by action, by deeds, and by word. It is not enough to claim that you are a Muslim, but this belief should be reflected in your deeds. And this was what we were taught by our Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad migrated from Mecca to Medina, and what he did, he started to make some sort of reconciliation between the Muhajirin and the Ansar, and he marked the area for the people and to work there, and some people asked some help. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the leader of the nation, and he asked him, "What do you have?" He said, "I have nothing. I have nothing. I only have some sort of mat." He said, "Please go and bring this mat for me." And then he made an open auction for the people to buy it. Someone said, "I would like to buy this for 1 dirham." Another person said that, "I would like to buy this for 2 dirhams." And then he sold this for 2 dirhams. He gave him the 2 dirhams and told that man, "Take this 1 dirham and take this dirham and buy food for your kids, and that other dirham, take it and buy an axe with it, and come again to me after 15 days, and then tell me what you did during these 15 days." The man went and followed what the Prophet said to him. He worked and bought new clothes and became in a better condition. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that this is better for you than to come on the day of judgment in a very bad condition because of begging people. So if you work by your hand, if you work hard in life and gain your bread, this is better than begging money from people. This is a life example in which Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught people how to live properly, how to lead a proper life. So Islam is not words only. Islam is words and deeds, and we have to work hard in our life. Point 2, education. People have to learn the principles of their religion. They have also to know the details of their religion. So people taught, our fathers taught us how to perform prayers, and he taught us how to perform well, and his father taught him also how to behave well and how to behave properly in society and with people. Point two is very important, and also I see it is very important, the wise leadership of the UAE. The wise leadership of the UAE taught young people as an important element from the first days of the formation of the nation. And Sheikh Zayed laid the basic foundations for this nation. And I brought some quotes from the sayings of Sheikh Zayed. He said, I'm quoting, the young people of the nation, the real prosperity of the nation is laid upon by the young people, and it is important for us. We have learned from this prosperity to build our nation through education and to take care of different generations of educated people, men and women. We need to build up succeeding generations of educated men and women. And he also said that Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, his Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, President of the nation, he said that education is very important for us, and education is our real investment, and it is our real gain. Young people are our real wealth, and it is the correct and real path through which we can support our nation at all levels. And also Sheikh Mohammed bin Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid said that our nation was built by the hands of our young people and will continue in making our nation more prosperous by the hands of our nation, and we are exerting our best efforts to make our young people more prosperous and more stronger. And this is the basic approach that our leaders are paying to our young people. So there were some examples. For example, Sheikh Mohammed laid 5 pillars for young people. He said in his meeting yesterday in the cabinet, we approved from today to 2031, we gave directions to the Minister of Youth, who is an astronaut, space astronaut. We laid down 5 pillars: empowering young people economically, scientifically, nationally, socially, and activating their role to represent their nation worldwide. This is a big nation, an important nation that is supported by Allah, who gave them this wise leadership that pay every attention to the empowerment of their nation. And this is an effort that is matchless worldwide, and we have to respect these efforts, and we have to know that we are responsible for paying much attention to our government, who care about us more than our fathers do. And the other thing, we have to follow their example. We have to empower our people, young women, young men, and we have to empower our country, our wise leadership. This means that we see that our wise leadership stick to our morals, our customs, our traditions, our religion. long years before, we were in the majlis of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and he said a word. He said that, I was sitting next to him, he said that my religion, I safeguard my religion by my life. And I wrote an article in Emirates Today newspaper. And what does it mean to say that? I protect my religion by my life. This means that religion, our Islamic religion, is the basic pillar of our society. This is the basic of our civilization, of our society, of our state. Today, we are exerting much efforts, and we did all this progress, and at the same time, we stick to our religion. So we have to be representatives, we have to be ambassadors of our nation and our country worldwide. This is a big responsibility, and this is the responsibility of our kids, of our children, and we have to bring up our kids. We have to pay much attention. We have to protect our kids and children from the illnesses of present-day societies. We are protected by our morals, by our culture, and our society has to remain protected by these morals and protected. This is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much, Sheikh Ahmad Al Haddad, for this important word. May Allah protect the UAE and its youth. Dr. Abdurrahman Sharaf Al-Ma'mari, it is clear that the illnesses surrounding young people and the challenges they are facing today would like to listen to your opinion about this issue. In the name of Allah, I am very happy to be in this majlis and to be in this session with Sheikh Ahmad Al Haddad and Sheikh and Dr. Abdul Khaliq, who teach us every day the principles of politics. And I'd like to listen and to discuss these issues with you 4 hours before I was in the meeting of the Commander-in-Chief of Dubai Police. And I swear by God, the Commander-in-Chief of Dubai Police paid much attention to protecting this generation. His questions were direct and clear. What are the programs you are preparing for protecting people? What are the results? And what are the international standards? He is in charge of the security of the Emirate of Dubai, and this was clear point and clear indication that this is important indication that we all are responsible for the security of the society. And as Ahmad Shawqi says, an orphan kid is not the one who lost his father. Really, he is the one who lost his mother. And as Allah says, or asking the believers to protect their families and their kids, and would like to talk about the drugs problems. As you see, the drugs dangers go through 4 steps. The first one, some people may ask about these issues, and he may start to gather information about his kids, about his children. So in the absence of family conversation and in the absence of following up the kids, there might be some problems. He might start to form his own beliefs and then goes to the next step, that is a trial. He tries, or he seeks to try these drugs. Some bad friends who might start to try use of these drugs, and then he goes to the third level or the third step, and then he start to addict drugs. So they take excessive drugs, and in the past, drugs were natural, that were raised in farms. So today there are some manufactured drugs, chemical drugs. Some of these drugs may be some sort of chemical or medical drugs that are used in a bad way. And today, Dubai police pay much attention to this. In 2023, in Dubai police, 83 tablets of Captagon were confiscated by Dubai police. Anyone who has, so I think every person living here in the UAE may have a portion of this. So this is very dangerous, and they state that if the 49 confiscated, so the 50 cargo of these tablets may be more dangerous than all these cargoes. So we have exerted, as many people did their efforts. You have to pay to be more patient and to pay much things. Today, while I was moving in this corridor, I saw all these images. This is hard work that he did throughout his life. As Sheikh Ahmad Abdulaziz Al Haddad said, that teaching was and education and social upbringing was the basic pillars upon which he was raised up. The school that he supervises, we used to live with a basic theme. The slogan was clear: morals. That was the first priority, more than gains and financial gains. So I would like to reassure that today we in Dubai Police are in charge of paying much attention to the people. So since 2018, more than 66 million people benefited from this program. We send weekly and monthly newsletters, and we have two conferences that are held twice a week, and there will be a more specialized conference about exchanging information with departments of police for exchanging information about these issues. And the American embassy, we went last year to the United States in Las Vegas, and there was a school conference, and people working in school guidance, and we discussed about these issues. And the most important point that was discussed in this gathering was bullying, and point number 2 was drug use and weapon use among kids. And these were the 3 basic roles, or the 3 basic dangers threatening young people in the United States. The United Nations report said that kids of 11 years old started to use some drugs, and this is a dangerous indicator. And so we have to also to notice that our sheikhs, our rulers pay much attention to protecting our society, and we have to work with them hand in hand to overcome these problems. And also you started to hear about the dark web and their problems, and the people who pay much attention, some people in the UAE use to use the internet for 7 hours a day. This is very long time, and it is very dangerous to let our kids live without supporting them. This is very dangerous, and we have to pay much attention to our kids. We have to supervise our kids. One of the children, one of his friends gave him 2 tablets of Captagon, and he started to seduce them. And the kid said he was a little bit hesitant. He would like to discuss these issues with his father, but his father was very busy, and when he returns to home, he does not open. He doesn't find a chance to talk to his father. He started to talk to his father. He tried to ask his father about the information that his father said to him, and his father didn't pay attention to him. And this happened on day 1, day 2, day 3, and on day 4, the kid used this drug tablet, and this may increase the percentage of committing suicide, and this is very common between adolescents and young people. And so we have to pay much attention to our kids and to engage them in useful programs, and we have to communicate with centers in summer, in all seasonal holidays. We open our gates for sports, for military exercises, and these are examples of our young people. These examples, we targeted more than 190 nationalities living in the UAE. We have governmental schools, we have private schools. We have to pay much attention to school students. Today we are living in a very busy city. All people are very busy with their businesses, and we have to provide the suitable programs for our kids. We have to receive students who practice sports, practice military skills, and provide them useful programs about their life skills. And in Ramadan, it happened that we gathered these kids in Ramadan, and it was very useful for them, and also in the spring holiday. And in 2023, there were more than 20,000 kids who benefited from these programs. And we are important, and it is important for us to pay much attention to our kids throughout the UAE. Thank you so much, Mr. Colonel. And Dr. Abdul Khaliq Abdullah would like now, you have a long experience in bringing up children in the UAE and outside the UAE. And we talked about protecting students and protecting kids. Would like to listen to your input about this issue. In the name of Allah. In the name of Allah, would like to thank dear brother and dear friend Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor, Abu Rashid, for the many issues that he talked in this open talk with him, and in these sessions, as Ms. Nora said, through 3 years or through 8 years, we are much interested in this open talk at the national level. And I'd like to thank Abu Rashid for this series of talks. And I'd like to thank Sheikh Ahmed and Mr. Abdurrahman. Today's meeting comes at the same time of yesterday's. That was the statement by the cabinet. The UAE cabinet yesterday issued stated a statement about the national agenda of the UAE youth. And that agenda should be the model for all people, not only for the ministry. It should be the model to be followed by all people in the society, young people, young women, societies, schools, and all institutions, formal and informal societies. It was an agenda, or the ideas and principles of this agenda was the result of hard work of different committees. One of the basic issues of this agenda that I would like to talk is the fifth article or the third article of this agenda. The third article of this agenda, establishing the national identity of young people. And this is important. We are talking about the UAE identity, and this with all its elements. We are belonging to one president, one state, one flag, one constitution. These are the basic principles of this national identity that the Ministry of Youth will foster and support among our young people. We hope that the UAE young people have high aspirations and at the same time to do their best in this society. I taught in the UAE university, and I am very happy to express my gratitude to all the UAE young people. Yes, we have problems, we have challenges, there are requirements, but at the same time, I have to give my eyewitness about teaching thousands of people. Some of them are now leading in the society. I have to give my witness about this UAE young generation. They are moderate people at all their life aspects in there, but sometimes we might have some problems here and there, but the mainstream young people in the UAE, as I met in the UAE University and in Dubai University, they are not extremists. They are not radicals in their ideologies, in their religion, in their behavior. These are not the characteristics of the UAE young people. Would like to indicate that they were good examples of the UAE young people. The second point, when they were asked to be responsible about it, or they were engaged in responsibility, they were capable and they were able to do their jobs well at all levels, and they were able to reach the outer space. We now have the UAE astronaut as an example for the UAE young people. they are capable and they are able, and this is a fact. And away from all the problems that we may face or some societies may face, we trust our young people, and we are sure that the future of our society, the youth of the UAE, are in safe hands since the setup of the federation. Through the past 50 years, and now in the next 50 years, I am sure that the present-day generation will be able to lead his society to a safe future. This is our goal, and we are hoping that our society will be the best at all levels. A month ago, I was at Harvard University, and I met one of the UAE scientists in Cambridge University. Without his from the UAE, from Abu Dhabi. I sat with him for 2 hours, and I wish that I was able to sit with him for 2 years, not 2 hours. He said that there is a scientific team in chips. He is the leader of MIT, in one of the best universities in the world, leading a team of 8 people from all over the world to improve or develop a new program of chips, future chips. And they were given this scholarship to develop this unique scientific discipline. The second testimony is that when the UAE young people were given this, they were asked to be responsible about some to play key roles. They were able. The second point, I'd like to talk about this issue. The UAE today is different from the past. It is the UAE of the 21st century with regards to economics challenge. We are not talking about the UAE of the past, of the 1970s or 1980s. We are talking about the UAE Emirates of the 20 years, of the last 20 years. Now we are working at a global level, at all standards. Young people today have to compete with all levels according to the international standards, locally and internationally. And I think this is the inspiration and this is the aspiration of the UAE to have this ambitious generation. And at the end of my contribution, I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Khaliq, for your contribution. Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor, I'd like to go back to you before we start to receive questions from the audience. All the guests talked about the importance of setting up the national identity. Would like to know your point of view about the culture of majlises in the UAE. Thank you so much for all of you. Thank you so much for these good contributions of our guests, and thank you so much for this educational lecture, and also thank you so much to Dr. Abdul Khaliq that you gave me the chance to give this additional contribution. And we hope that Allah may help our young people. And at the same time, I think that everything is easy. No, it is not an easy thing. It is very rough. Dubai and the UAE was set up by the hands of its people. The rulers and the people worked hand in hand with their nation, with their businessmen. They worked hard. But today, young people may need some sort of coaching. People cannot achieve success without coaching. Today, or in the past, we used to ride camels, to ride horses, to hunt wild animals. These skills we were taught by our parents. Today, we are talking about the protection of our kids, our daughters, our sons, how to protect them from the ills, dangers, and risks of present-day societies. We have to protect our kids at schools. We provide security cameras and security guards 24 hours, 7 days a week, under the supervision of our police people. Today, we have to pay much attention to these people. In my point of view, thank you so much about the story of the father and the kid who didn't pay much attention to his son, and that sad ending of that story. But again, I would like to focus much on the cooperation that should be between fathers and mothers, and also between the rulers and the nation. The rulers, the word national or local, this is not one of our dictionary in the past. We talk about this is the ruler of Dubai, this is the ruler of Abu Dhabi, this is the ruler of our society. So the ruler is responsible about everything in his country. He is the safeguard, he is the watchman, he is the protector, he is the governor of our nation, and this is our responsibility. And we have to be proud to raise our national flag high around the world. I met UAE students in New York. There was a marathon, and I asked them to gather the students and meet them. I asked them to ask them. I didn't want to ask to. I don't want them to tell me that this is from the from Sharjah, from Dubai, from Abu Dhabi. But we have to be proud that we all are UAE nationals, and this was not because of idle work, but it was by hard work and by our trust in ourselves. And we have to compete with all the world, and we have to compete with ourselves. And this is this result was gained by the hard work of our young people. But the master plan was put or was laid out by our founding fathers, Sheikh Zayed and Sheikh Rashid, and all the founding fathers, and our parents and our grandparents. They used to live in tents in the desert to eat palm dates. We used to live in Shandara, and we used to ride camels, and it was like Buckingham Palace, and we used to divide the palmitates into two halves, one half for ourselves and the other half to our camels. We led a very honorable life and we worked hard to achieve these goals. Women have to be, or mothers have to be responsible 100% about their kids. We have our responsibility and we have to ask ourselves, what did we provide to our nation, to our society? We have to set up a fund. I can contribute 25 million dirhams up to 100 million dirhams, and we have to set up this fund, and it should be dedicated for providing and supporting women and mothers who will be in charge of raising up our future generations. Our kids does not know the native Arabic. They do not know their customs, their traditions, their cultures. When the kids come to kiss you by nose, nose to nose, they have to learn these customs. We used to kiss or exchange kisses through or by touching nose to nose. So this is one of our social customs and traditions. We have, after finishing discussing this point, there is another theme that would like to talk about. And in this case, I think when I talk about this fund, about the financial support, and in addition to this, we have to pay much attention to the other point that students have to respect their fathers, to respect their teachers, to respect the older generation. We have to respect our teachers, to respect our older generations. This is social discipline, which is very important for us in life. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mr. Khalaf. And now I would like to some questions from society, from social media platforms. You talked much about the role played by women, and this is an important role. In your point of view, do you think that what you are saying now does not contradict? Now you say that you support women to work. Now, do you think that what you are saying now contradicts you support women to work? Woman, when her children became elder than 15 years old, she have the right to work. But if her kids are still young, 2 years old, 3 years old, and she leaves her kids and goes to work, I think she will not be able to raise up her kids properly. We support her until her kids become older enough. We at homes have our mothers, we have our sisters, who play key roles. But if a woman or a mother has younger or small kids, she has to pay much attention to her kids than to work. Dr. Haddad, do you have any comment? Please. Yes, I support Abu Rashid in his idea with regards to work women, but there are some priorities. So, young people, when we are talking about women today, who is responsible about raising up these young people or young generation? Mother is the best and most important element in bringing up children. Comes in the first place. Mothers comes in the first place. Every great man was brought up by a great woman. So if we asked mothers to leave their kids and go to work. This will harm kids. But we have to give mothers the full chance to take care of her children, and not to leave our kids to babysitters, to servants, because this will have very harmful effects on our kids. A woman who wants to go to work, she can, but the priority is to pay all attention to her kids. Prophet said that the woman is guardian at her home. Father may be in charge of breadwinning, but at the same time, women has to pay all attention to her kids, to her home, and to be protected and to be sustained by her husband. The society has to be responsible for taking care of women. And at this time, the first priority of women, the first priority of mothers, is to take care of her children. Because this young kid, if she didn't pay much attention to her kids when they are young, they will not pay attention to their parents when they are old. If mothers pay attention, or fathers and mothers, parents pay attention to kids when they are young, these young will pay much attention to their parents when they grow old. So I am speaking to my sisters, to my to our mothers, to our daughters. They have to pay much attention. If fathers does not sustain their families, they have to go to the court to raise the issue to the court, and in this case, the court will ask the fathers will ask men to pay enough to their mothers and to their kids. Sometimes some women may complain about these issues. If a woman is married to a rich man, the court has to force the rich husband to give money to these wives. Thank you so much. Sometimes they call people by their mothers. For example, my brother Muhammad, his name is Muhammad bin Nora and Muhammad bin Amna. And they are known by these titles because the mother is the basic element in the family. Thank you, Mr. Khalaf. Dr. Abdul Khaliq, I agree with Abu Rashid 50% only. And I disagree with him 50%, and details will be revealed later between me and you, Abu Rashid. Would like to receive questions from the audience. So the floor is given to the audience to ask questions now. Thank you so much. My name is Mukhtar. My question is to Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. By focusing on the role played by the mother, would like you to summarize a roadmap for the family in 3 or 4 points, how to tackle this issue in an ideal way. Thank you. Thank you for your question. The roadmap, no secret roadmap. My point is the priorities, paying attention to kids, following up children at their studies, the compassion of the children, and the mother have to pay all attention to her kids because she is more able to understand her kids. I can go beyond this limit. Thank you. Another question? Thank you to Mr. Abu Rashid and their excellencies, the guests, and I would like now, since we are speaking about, I'd like to open the floor to Ms. Manal Ajaj. I think that she is a successful model. I would like to listen to Nora and to Manal. Good evening. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was surprising for me about the content of the conversation, and it was timely planned. A week or 10 days ago, we'll think about one important point that is that I'm facing now. When the mother is separate from her husband and in charge of kids, and she has to be responsible for some kids. I see many women who are separate from husbands and fathers may not be responsible for their children. And now, today, if I have the ability and awareness to make balance between my work and my home, and at the same time, I think that I do not pay much attention to my kids. You said that, Mr. Khalaf, you said that today children cannot speak Arabic properly, and she spends much time at the time. For example, today my kids, they cannot speak Arabic properly, but I could not face this problem, and I was not able to find some suitable channels to provide support to our kids because schools pay much attention to English language. Today, I also would like to talk about attracting the teenagers towards homosexuality, drugs, marijuana, and other types of drugs. What are the influencing factors that make this adolescent or this kid to be attracted to this wrong way? This is the role of the mother, the absence of the role of the mother, and the absence of the role of the father. So we have to create a compassionate society, provides all support to some families that face abnormal conditions. We have to provide some or to set up some centers, some communities, some associations that provide support to these kids and women who face these difficult times. Not to let them isolated. I am not sure if my idea is clear enough or not. But today you said that mothers have to be 100% in charge of their kids. But I have some addition. Okay. I hope that you can find a solution for the kids of the divorced women to provide a healthy environment for the kids of divorced women, to protect them from the problems and dangers that may face from the outside. Mr. Khalaf, please give your answer. In the beginning, thank you so much for your kind words and for raising up this issue of divorced women. There are some problems. There are many problems, and it is very hard to have some people, or some people may commit mistakes, do mistakes, and this is one of the reasons why I say that if we are speaking in general, it is very difficult. It is very hard for people to face these problems. But I'm speaking about the UAE society and the UAE government that is able to support. But at the same time, we cannot say that the government is responsible for everything, but the society, the community, are able to provide their support if they want to donate for supporting these problems who face difficult times. Divorced women can remarried. Would you like? I'd like also to add my contribution. Khawla bin Thalaba, one of the companions, said that I have kids. If I became responsible for them, they may face starvation, and if they were I'm talking about problems that we face in society. Every children who face problems in society, their kids, or these kids say that they lost either their father or mother for one reason or another. And since we used to live in these societies, these people should be responsible for these issues. We have to pay attention to these groups of people. And the General Directorate of Drug Combatment, we provide support for these kids. In our student programs, if there is a mother who comes and says that I live alone, I got divorced, or I lost my husband, we say that the priority for the kids of that woman. The government pays much attention to these families. Dr. Abdul Khaliq said that the policy of the state in paying attention to our kids. A week ago, we were in Abu Dhabi. Discussing through the National Week for protecting kids from bullying. Who is responsible of this council? The mother of the nation, Sheikha Fatma bint Mubarak, and Sheikh Diab bin Muhammad bin Zayed. He was very happy for having this meeting and for honoring the people who provide initiatives. But as you say, the society is changing. And 2 days ago, we were there in Al-Warqa opening a new center. There were 3 ministers in a very critical time of the day, 4:30 p.m., who pay much attention to this generation. Today, there is much attention to men, women, mother, kids, but the first principally, the first responsibility is the family. So family comes first before the state. We have to pay much attention about these issues. It is not enough to talk about all these issues in 1 hour, but the Executive Council pay much attention to the kids, and there are programs that provide support by millions for all these categories of society. And today, Abu Rashid actually made us proud of this man. And thank you so much for Abu Rashid. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Khaliq. After all these points of view. What is your point of view? Do you still insist that the 50-50%? I live a happy life with my family. The priority for women is still at home or to remain at home or to go for work. Do you support women to work, or the priority for women is to work outside home or to pay much attention to her family? My point of view is that the divorce cases worldwide, 40% of these 40% of marriage cases ends by divorce. Mean that from every 10 cases of marriage, 4 cases get divorced. In the UAE, our percentage 30%, which means that our state is better. In other countries, the percentage reaches to 60%. The same statistics say that 40% face difficult times on a daily basis and face unstable life conditions. But although they face all these difficulties, they face hardships. So this means that more than 80% of people around the world face difficulties, either challenges or divorce. But there is no society that doesn't face these problems. But at the same time, we have to find a solution. We have to be patient. We have to pay attention to our kids. And there are so many factors that lead to these problems. But the problems does not rise only from women work, but all the society is responsible about these problems. Today in the UAE, we are the population is 1 million people. We have more than $100 billion. We need the efforts of all people to contribute to this development in the UAE, which made the UAE a strong economic force. We can't do without the women's role. We have to face these problems. We have to find some solution to these problems through social institutions, educational institutions, formal institutions, but we can't say that women alone are responsible for all these problems. We have to help women to make balance between work and life, between family and society. You are posing difficult questions, Ms. Noura. Any questions? Yes, please. Assalamu alaikum, Your Excellencies. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, Your Excellencies. Thank you so much for this discussion. I'd like to talk about myself. I am Hassa Shamsi. I am from Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much for Abu Rashid. My question, what are the areas of entrepreneurship today? What are the areas of entrepreneurship that are available for women in today's society? Thank you so much for directing the discussion to a new direction away from what we were discussing with Dr. Abdul Khaliq. Today we would like to discuss a very important point. Some people say that how to work, how to support our nation how to set up centers. Issues are not very easy, but with determination, every hardship can become easier. If we follow the constitution laid up by Allah, when the sun rises, when the sun sets, I think we will be more successful in our work. But this doesn't mean that everyone can become a businessman. Everyone cannot be an engineer in our society. We are in need for every person. We are in need for every person working in the society. But we have to be persistent in work. We have to follow the ecosystem created by Allah. Every time has its time. We have to distribute our work along the day. At 6:30, I start working. 6:30 in the morning, I start work. 9:30, I finish my work. Then I go to Habtoor City to see the engineers working with us, and then I go to Emirates Mall to work or to do some sports. This is the life cycle. We have to distribute our work, our daily work. I go for walk. I go to play tennis. I meet some people. I see some of my families, young and old. This is a blessing from Allah. This relieves you from daily stress, from all pressures. These young kids, like, they make us happy in our life. If we organize our life, everything will be easy and simple. It is easy to achieve success in your job and your work if you manage your time wisely. If you like your job, you should not work or choose a job because it gives you a high salary, but you do not love it. You should love your job, and you should choose the job that you love. And in this case, you have to make the basis for choosing your job is love. You should love your job, or you should choose the job that you love. We should not compare our service to other people. I have to do my best. I have to choose. I always believe in the decision making. This is very difficult. If you take a decision, no one, only wise people can choose the correct decision. And choosing the your team who works properly, you can go here and there, but it is important for you to choose your work team. You should not take, or you should not choose people who are inferior in skills to you. You should choose the proper members of team to be successful in your work. Thank you so much. Mr. Khalaf, a question from social media followers. Sheikh Ahmad Al Haddad, in your opinion, what are the big challenges that face humanity in the 21st century, and how can we overcome this? Yes, this is a very important question. The big challenge today is the open space. This is one of the big challenges that face our young people today. This open space. This open space may lead people to success and may degenerate people. For example, these people who were misguided. This was because of social media, because the applications that they used. But if people were able to use this, they need this. The people who supervise these kids, they have to be supervised by their parents. They have to direct them to the best way to their kids to lead a proper life. Kids sometimes may be misguided by the open space and also by the artificial intelligence. We have to provide supervision to our kids, to our daughters, to our sons. We have to help our kids to lead a proper life. I think that in France, the French president started to issue a law about the age that kids can start to be directed to the open space. This is important. This depends on the life of the future. This open space started to invade every aspect of our life. So we have to make the best use of it wisely and not to lose our kids. Government have to supervise everything. Governmental ministers or official work is not enough. Formal work is not enough. No one can stop artificial intelligence. It is invading every aspect of our society, and people have to, or parents have to take care of their kids. Thank you, Sheikh Ahmed. Mr. Khalaf. Dr. Isa Al-Bastaki, President of Dubai University, please. The floor is yours. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I have some comment. I'm an engineer and I don't like to talk much. The first thing is that artificial intelligence is not a bad thing. Artificial intelligence can be the problem and can be solution of the problem. Parents have to use or can use artificial intelligence to monitor their kids, not to use artificial intelligence in a bad way. So this doesn't mean that we can blame AI, but we can blame the way in which we use AI. In 1990, one Saudi national directed called the Dubai TV, and he said that internet is the worst invention in the history of people. And I rejected this idea. I said that 99% is good and only 1% of internet is bad. We have to pay attention to the benefits of these inventions, and we have to think about it. We have to think about artificial intelligence in this way. What is the most precious thing in the hands of parents? Their kids, indeed. If you have a precious thing, you have gold, you have diamond, you protect it in the best way possible. So why parents are not as careful as with the kids as they are careful with gold and diamond? Fathers are responsible for their kids. Mothers are responsible for their kids. Both integrate and both complete each other. With regards to the donation for supporting women, they have, or we have to provide support for kids, for mothers who need support, and it is important for us to pay attention to bringing up the kids. We talked about the past, but what about the future? We talked about the past and their positive role in society, but today's generation were brought up by the past generation. So what about the future generation? Today, there are different ideas, and internet plays a key role in the life of young people. So how to teach them the best way, as we were used to be brought in the past by our parents. And also, we have to set up priorities, and education is one of the basic priorities of our state. Education is very important for all of us. And today's society provide education in a different way from the past. We have academic education, research, social service, cooperation or collaboration with industry and government, innovation, lifelong learning, achieving global goals. These are the basics of today's education. What are we doing today? We are bringing up businessmen, entrepreneurs, and we have to provide support for educations and universities for this economic thought. Thank you so much, Dr. Isa. Mr. Khalaf, what's your opinion about the pros and cons about AI? Actually, everything has its pros and cons. AI, if we were able to control it and use it in what is useful for us, it is very beneficial. But if it was left without any control, it will be harmful. I think it will be very harmful, and people may disagree with me, but I think from this time on, AI replaced human being. Artificial intelligence started to replace human intelligence. For example, the tennis court, they are arbitrators at one court. There are 12 people. Artificial intelligence start to monitor tennis courts. Also, reception at companies. Artificial intelligence start to replace human elements in some roles in societies. We have to be cautious about this issue. We have to make the best use of artificial intelligence, and we should not harm human elements. In a tweet, I said that around a certain number of people will be jobless in the future, and this may lead to a rise in the number of crimes. And in fact, this will be very harmful, but we have to focus our attention to the beneficial aspects of life. But we have to pay much attention to these beneficial and harmful aspects of AI. As long as we do not allow artificial intelligence to control us, we are on the safe side. This is an interesting discussion, but we have to catch up or to receive some questions before. Okay, you talked about the role of women, and woman has to take care of her kids. I think this is not realistic, especially in this time. But what we are seeking is a balanced family. As Dr. Abdul Khaliq said, the divorce percentage raised. This is not in our hands. Divorce, I am a divorced woman and I have kids, but family can, the role of the extended family play an important role. We as a UAE society have these problems. Some people who face this problem, some people came from their societies. They came here as a simple family, and then it ended up that the mother or the woman became responsible for her family. We as a UAE society see these facilities in the society and help us in developing the Arabic language skills. And there were so many activities that we used to be part of. So all these facilities, the government provides all these facilities for our society. But it is not logical that the woman has to stay at home. She has to go to work to earn her living, and at the same time, the society have to contribute to the bringing up of the children. And the drug issues, it has to be supervised by the Ministry of Health. And I know that there are many people who started to addict drugs after some medical conditions that they faced. We'll receive a final question. 2 questions, please. Good evening. Sarkis, specialized in political files, and I'd like to contribute in this talk because it is important and attracting. My question His Excellency Mr. Lieutenant said that there are people who spend 7 hours a day on social media, and if we are speaking about the importance of providing support to young people, we have to focus on social media as a means for teaching the young people. My question is directed to Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. We knew from the official website that you intended to set up a channel and a media city in Lebanon. Do you have a special strategy for transforming the traditional social media that starts to be in a second place behind the social media seats? So do you think that the traditional media will be able to be in the leading seat before the social media? Or for example, the social majlises, the entertainment programs, etc. Do you have some specific strategy? Because I know that this kind of media, I know it is losing media. It costs a lot of money without any economic gains. Is there some specific strategy for this approach? Thank you so much. I may say that I am not interested in TV channels, even news. I'm not much interested in these things because for this reason I cannot answer your question about this issue of TV channels. It is just a study. I'm not interested in these issues. I'm not much interested in TV channels. It is just Abu Rashid gave answer to your question. I agree with you. Today's generation that the student should not pay long time on social media. Parents has to face these critical problems we set up a department that is responsible for e-crimes, because around 89% is used for positive issues and only 11% is used for negative aspects. We in Dubai police gathered the people in charge of gaming or e-gaming. We started to gather them and give them valuable awards. There were some films of these winning youth, not only from the UAE, but also from outside the UAE. They started to create social media content about crimes and combating crimes. They have a different approach. This is one of the successful experiences. Today we started to arrange some or to organize some content or some programs about making useful programs or useful gaming. So we have to increase our awareness sessions at all levels. We have businesses run their businesses from homes, and people opened successful projects from their homes. They made the best use of their time during the pandemic era. So we have to collaborate with young people and to think about positive issues that will be beneficial for young people in their societies. Thank you. Final question from Mr. Fidel Halabi. Good evening. My question to Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. It is clear that the UAE, by supporting innovation and providing the suitable environment for this, they were able to achieve unprecedented success and providing support for young people and innovation. My question, in the context of this issue, one of the people in charge of one of the people said that if you needed to solve the problems of this country, you have to teach from the UAE states people. If I ask you
من أجل النهوض بشعوبها
about opening a TV channel in Lebanon, how can you help this? And to what extent do you think the UAE experience, sharing the UAE experience with the neighboring states, how do you think this experience of the UAE be helpful for the neighboring states? This is my question. Dear friend, it is very difficult to talk about this issue. Many times I talk to some Arab states that you have to follow our system. For example, in the economic department or Dubai police or RTA, everything you renew your passport in minutes. You make an attestation of a power of attorney by telephone. I talk to some people in some countries in the Middle East. I talk to them that I can give you an example. I opened a branch of one of my companies in Lebanon. After a short period, we lost much. So I cancelled it. We cancelled the company. I can't imagine how many documents that I were to sign. More than 200 pages. More than 200 memorandum of association. It took us about 3 or 4 years to cancel this company. Here in the UAE, it takes minutes to finish any transaction. It is not the issue of using a computer, or it is an issue of persuasion. We need time to persuade people. We need to make camels lean. It is a hard process like this. Final question. It is an actual. Yes. Mayram Al-Qubesi, real estate chancellor. I'd like to talk about the suggested fund. In all our discussion today, we are focusing on our risk awareness and how to make balance between life and social life and work. There should be programs supported by the fund. We have to raise women awareness and to pay much attention to her family and her home. And I think during the corona pandemic, it was a good time for testing some of these hypotheses. Today, we were able to create some sort of balance and to manage our time wisely. And we were able to face all these problems. And for women, thank you so much for your contribution. These are very important ideas and well-disciplined ideas. I'd like to repeat again, to reiterate, mother is the basis of our life. Our mothers, our daughters, our wives. I have only one wife. This is correct. She has to spend most of her time at home, and we can provide support for them through people who are able financially. We can set up a fund and provide all support to women and support women in addition to the support we receive from our state that provide teaching at schools and universities to people. We benefited from our country, and we are proud that we are the nationals of this country. But we have to share the government in bearing the responsibility. The government should not bear the responsibility alone. Dr. Bistaki, in the university, he can study this issue, and Dr. Abdul Khaliq also, and Mr. Lieutenant can. We all can start the discussions, and I am ready to start this initiative. So I don't believe in working from home. I think this is not enough. And also that lady. Thank you so much, Mr. Khalaf. Would like to thank you so much for your attendance today. Sheikh Ahmad Al Haddad, Dr. Abdul Khaliq Abdullah, Dr. Al Ma'mari, you all are most welcome. Dear attendees here and on social media, thank you so much for all of you. Thank you.